Commissioner.
All right, we'll have the deputy clerk swear in everybody that's going to participate in the hearing.
He'll be speaking at your hearing.
Do you want me to stand up?
Stand up, please.
Do you solemnly swear that any testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. So under Idaho Code 63501, the Board of County Commissioners are required to convene as the Board of Equalization. We are here to determine market value under Idaho Code 63205, which states that all real, personal, and operating property subject to property taxation must be assessed annually at market value for assessment purposes as of 12:01 a.m. of the first day of January in the year in which such property taxes are levied. Furthermore, under Idaho Code 63502, the function of the Board of Equalization shall be confined strictly to assuring that the market value of assessment purposes of property has been founded by the assessor, and to the functions provided for in Chapter 6, Title 63, Idaho Code, relating to exemptions from taxation. The taxpayer shall have the burden of proof in seeking affirmative relief to establish that the determination of the assessor was erroneous. A preponderance of the evidence shall suffice to sustain the burden of proof. We are here to discuss the market value of the property, the condition, the state, or information that is relevant to this topic. This is fact and not opinion. We are not here to discuss taxes, past grievances, policy, personal income, or other issues. If you do not stick to the discussion as requested, your time will be reclaimed. So the property owner will have 3 minutes, and then their assessor's table will have 3 minutes. We'll ask questions. If there's comments, we can go back and forth for a minute, but it'll be 2 minutes. The rules are to be kind, direct all questions or comments to the board. If your conduct is out of line, you will be warned. If it continues to be out of line, you will be asked or escorted out of the building. Russ, go ahead and state your name and your 3 minutes begin. Yes,
Russell Gunter. Do I need to spell it as well? Do I need to spell it?
No.
Okay. So the little piece I have in question, I don't know if you read what I wrote when I turned it in. It actually, until the, I guess, parcel viewer, we didn't know that it wasn't mine. So Jim Guthrie sold a big piece to my dad 20, 30 years ago. Dad deeded this corner to me. And if you can see on your viewer, that little triangle actually like cuts right through my septic tank. But Dad and Jim built this fence on the south. Anyway, beside the point, we didn't know that it wasn't mine until 2 years ago. Jim, excuse me, Jim deeded it over to me, but it's like 0.4 acres. There's no access to it, and it's not good for anything but for my horse pasture that I have there. I just didn't think that $17,000 was a fair price for that. If I ever sell the house, it has to go with the house anyway because my drain field's in there. So that's what I'm appealing, I guess.
Okay. Comments from the assessor's table? Do you want 3 minutes?
I just will make a quick comment on my 3
Okay.
minutes. They did look up comparable sales, and when you combine the two, he has 1.76 acres, and the combined value is $59,654. When you put his house with that, it is being valued as additional acres, not full value. And looking at other area sales, it looks like that would be in line with what other things would sell for in the area.
Okay. Commissioner Huff, any questions, comments?
This is one of those ones that I think should be a contiguous piece and valued as such, and
It is.
I would tend to agree that where it's landlocked and as part of that I kind of agree with the appellate that the $500 is probably a worthwhile piece on that. Commissioner Moser?
I would like a motion.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that on parcel RP-RMCP-M007810, that we adjust the value to $500 as the appellate requested.
Have a motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye. Can you merge those parcels into one so that next year we don't have this issue?
Is that, can that happen? Combine them? Or,
Oh, that was directed to me? Sorry. I
Sorry.
didn't know who you were talking
It was
to.
kind of a general question.
Oh.
Can we do that?
As long as they're in the same section, township and range and everything, and they're both, it looks like it could be. But we'd have to check the section, township and range to make sure it's not out of line.
He can check with our plating department, and they have some questions that they can ask him, and they can get it combined.
That's just across the street.
That's across the street.
The
And
planning,
he sounds-
your planning department, not
No,
the
our
planning.
department.
Our
Okay.
GIS map
Yeah, okay.
in the assessor's
And he
office.
needs to ask for either Ray or Jeremy, and one of them can help him try to get that combined.
One thing they have to check is if there's a mortgage on one and not on the other, that will affect it because it has to be okay with the bank.
Okay. Did you get that information?
yeah, there is a mortgage on it, so,
You
So
would-
Russ, what I'd
So-
encourage you to do is
Talk
not,
to-
not thi-
talk to
this
the
week or
GIS.
next week, but the following week, stop by that office. I mean, right now, we're in the middle of all this, and they're super busy over there. Stop by that office, and either one of these two can direct you to the right person.
Oh, yeah.
We'd be
Okay.
glad to.
And if you can do that well, that's good. If not, then we'll make a note of why we put it at $500 this time, so that it's in the records also.
okay. One quick thing, I see that your map doesn't show the other parcel. So it like, it's supposed to cut straight over, so then there's like a smaller triangle that actually should be my dad's, but like on this map, how this cuts. That's what I thought I owned, which it doesn't really matter, but,
And again, our
So-
plat department could look at that
Yeah.
and make sure it's correct.
That's where they'd look at it. and-
okay,
Odds are you can combine those though and make it work so that,
okay.
we just have one piece going forward.
Thank
All right.
you.
And
Anything
you
else?
do have the ability to appeal, either to the state tax commission or to district court. You've been in there a few times. But you have the right to appeal, and so does the assessor's table
Okay.
of the decisions that are made here today. Other than that, your hearing is done.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. Evans?
Well, good morning. Thanks for having us.
Oh, you bet.
We read about 4 times that we were to conduct ourselves in a professional manner and be well behaved, so we're,
My goal is to have somebody act up, because I've never seen somebody tased.
We haven't
You've
had
never
them tased
seen
yet,
someone
but we've
tased?
had them
That's
escorted
I've
out.
had people escorted out of this room, but we haven't got to the point where we've had somebody tased. And if we push this little button right over here,
someone
They'll
gets
come running.
tased.
court marshals will be in
They'll come
here
running.
that quick, and there's a possibility somebody could be tased.
If it wasn't so sad.
Friday.
Oh, not today. You have to call them today. The button's not working.
Oh, isn't it?
Uh-uh.
I also read that I was supposed to bring 3 copies. Is this, does anyone want this? Like, are you
We have our own.
We have our
scrapbooking?
copy.
Was this just for fun?
We're good. All right. State your names, and then your 3 minutes will begin.
My name is Brandy Evans.
I'm Aaron Evans.
Okay, we are here to appeal the appraisal of our home on 5333 Canterbury Street. We, as per directions, took all emotion out and just wanted to really look at the numbers and see what's going on with our home, where did we start, where are we now, and how does that compare to the rest of the market in Idaho and nationally. So do you guys all have a copy of the letter that I wrote?
Yes.
So we can go through we were assessed originally at 482,846, and then the next year our increase was 4.95%. And then in 2021, the increase was 34.65%. And then 2022, this current year that we're discussing, is 26.81%. So if we look at those numbers and look at the national average according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the national average was 2.88, 2.89, 2.19, 3.29, and then 2022 is 4.63. But it's in progress, so we're not done. So just those numbers compared to our numbers are really outside of what the market nationally is showing. Anyway, so I kept digging for numbers because apparently I really like to research things and put some numbers into the tables so that we can look and see, like, okay, well, what would it be if Idaho really is just awesome and a lot of people are moving here, which is true. Between 2020 and 2022, 55,000 people moved into the Treasure Valley, right?
I just got to interrupt you real quick.
Go for it.
I don't know if the marshals were listening, but the marshal just walked in.
Hello.
So anyway.
Welcome.
It just, the coincidence was just ideal, so I'm sorry.
We were talking about good behavior.
Oh, well, there you go.
We're trying over here, but we might get a little wild here in a minute. Anyway, so the long and the short of it is that the math doesn't compute with our assessed values as compared to the market values. And even if we said, okay, Idaho is cooler and awesome and better than anywhere else, let's do 10% at every single year, or we started at 4.95% with the Bannock County, that still only equates to $692,806.80. So you guys, I hope, can appreciate where we feel like there's just a huge gap in what's going on in the market versus what's going on with our home. And then for comparable selling houses in our area, like that house across the street just recently sold for $765,000, which, I mean, good for them. That is super awesome, but that's still over $100,000 less than what our house is being appraised for. And again, with the market rapidly, did I say something bad?
Oh, that was
Was that
3
buzz for me?
minutes.
That's just the time,
Oh.
yeah.
Okay,
I
Do you want me to
interrupted
finish
you,
my
so I'll give you a
sentence?
few more minutes.
Okay.
Or a few more
Well,
seconds.
I'll be
Not
fast.
minutes, seconds.
I realize that we realize that the market is rapidly changing, but also so are the interest rates. So we just feel like our home assessed value is not sustainable and not reasonable. So we're hoping that we could have a great conversation about how to come to a better, more reasonable agreement. You can see that I put a proposed amount in our document, which is an average of the last three formulas that I submitted, which was the national average, and the higher average plus the wild 10%, which was more than 3 times the national average.
Okay.
So
Your seconds are
there.
up.
That's the bottom.
All right, the assessor.
All right. So, she is correct. The neighbor did sell for $765,000 in March of this year. They do not have a detached garage like the subject property. They did have another sale in there, and I do believe it was on Homestead. That was not a time-adjusted sale at $790,000. Sorry, all of a sudden my voice. If we time-adjusted the sale at Homestead, which is similar square feet, the subject property has 2,964 on the main. Well, above grade, they do have a bonus area, a small bonus area. Below grade, they have 2,363 with 1,989 of that finished. The one at 535 Homestead has 2,630 square feet above grade, 2,630 in the basement with about 2,280. The subject's coming in at about 143 price per square foot the homestead one is 155 per square foot. I didn't do the price per square foot on the newest sale just because it's so new. We wouldn't have had that in our database. But I did pull a couple others that are similar year build, but they are one is slightly newer, one is a little bit older that was a remodel. It's on Whitaker. It sold for $795. It has a little bit more square feet on the main, but the basement is smaller. It has 3,288. It is at 5237 Whitaker, and then in the basement it has 1,033 square feet with all of that finished. It comes in at 153 price per square foot, and then I have one that was built in 2021 that's really similar. It's 1 story plus a bonus room. Their lot's slightly smaller. It has 2,800 square feet on the main, 1983 for the basement, and 1,704 of that finished for a price per square foot of $150 per square foot, which with them at 143, it looks like they would be right in line with that bracket, maybe even a little bit lower, just because, you know, they have a little bit more square feet than a couple of them in the basement that's finished. I'll again say, not everybody in Pocatello had an average of 30%. Some areas had to go up a little bit more. Some, like I said, was at 35. Some went up as much as 80%, just depending on the market sales that we show in and around that area. So if they weren't quite in line with the national average every time, then that would be why.
All right, thank you. Comments about what they just talked about?
Sure. Thanks. We're familiar with a couple of those properties that are neighbors of ours, and they got some almost incredible value out of their sales, and I feel like, gosh, good for them. That's kind of a golden egg in a couple of spots. The one on Whitaker was purchased by an investor, not a resident. It's a halfway house now, so it wouldn't be, in my opinion, a comparable sale, but just because there were a couple of very, very lucky home sales in the neighborhood doesn't mean that our value is currently comparable to that. There's also a lot of other factors that go into it, like the current interest rate, and our 3 years ago assessed value wasn't low to begin with. It was right where it was because that was our build price. We didn't start low and then add a lot to get to a reasonable value. We started at the actual value because that was the build price. So anyway, I guess that's what I would add to our points.
And recently with sales, one topic or one point is that in the last couple of years, interest rates have been unbelievably low. Ours is at 2.0%. Today, as of today, the interest rates.
And this is all of January 1st. That's what we're talking right now.
Okay.
January 1st of this year.
Well, then the most recent sale was in March, so.
It was in March, yeah. Anyway, I think it's obvious you guys can like see our points outside of what seems reasonable, so we're hoping to come up with something better.
Okay.
Thanks for listening. We appreciate your guys' time.
You bet. Commissioner Huff?
I'm still looking. So you built this property 2 years ago, or
3
years ago?
Well, 4 years ago
3.5, sure. We moved in January
of 18.
of 18.
Okay. For some reason, your comps didn't show up in my online packet. Do you have comps in yours?
They weren't submitted.
Okay.
Somehow we missed
Okay.
that. I think it was put in a slot that we didn't realize got added.
Okay.
That's why you can talk about it, but we.
Yep. That's why I
We don't
had to
have-
talk about it, but yeah.
Square footage is
Unfortunately.
143, which was.
That's reasonable square footage.
The above ground square footage, about a
Oh,
third of that.
Okay, this is a discussion here now,
Oh.
okay?
Sorry.
Sorry, no. Sorry, I just have to keep everything the same for everybody.
go for it.
Okay.
What were you saying?
The square footage is what I was talking about, was about 143. It's within where we've been. Been pretty consistent in that area. What's the
What was the,
adjacent land values?
it's in line with everybody else. I don't see anything out of whack. Land value wise, assessed value wise, we're consistent with the neighborhood. Although, what's the difference between your house and the house, I guess it'd be directly to the west of you on the corner?
North of us on the corner?
Sure, north. The address, Joel Phillips, 5344 Kimball.
Oh. West of us.
That's Doug's house.
Uh,
A lot.
I could be looking at it the wrong way. Could be.
It's got maybe a little more square footage on the main. It's got a small bonus room, whereas the large bonus room, just an empty room above the garage. Square footage wise, it's all above ground, but his shop's maybe, or detached garage, you call it,
Yeah,
maybe triple the size of ours. Sure exactly the dimensions.
I show yours being about twice of what his is, if I'm looking at the right one.
I wish mine was twice as big as his was. I mean, I'm 25 by 55. He's about 40 by 65.
His is about 60 by 40, yeah. And then theirs is
Comparable.
about 55 by,
25.
There's about,
I have it on here.
about
I have theirs on
100,000
here.
difference
Hold on here.
between the two.
We have it 25 by 55, and
Yeah,
then
or down.
They're up above.
Is that Zillow or is that?
Well, I'm looking at a couple different things. Nothing's really clear on that one for whatever reason, so that's why I'm struggling to make a change. I don't agree with 623. Sorry. It's a good ask, but I don't necessarily agree with that one. The assessor's got it at what? 865?
865.
Can I ask what the one on Kimball sold for?
It's not a sale. I'm just looking at the parcel viewer and what we have it valued at.
Okay.
What was the sale down the street you said that happened in March?
Right across the street,
765.
760.
it's on Canterbury, right by that park area, right directly across the street from I think it's Thomas, right?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
There's Thomas, and it's right directly, like their house is here, and it's right across the street.
And how much was that one?
765.
In March. They don't have a detached garage.
And you guys are valuing the garage at how much?
40. Just a second. Oh, woo, 79,640. Or wait, that's Briscoe. Whoops, I'm on the wrong parcel. Just hold, please.
Hold, please.
Because I was just looking to see how we compared to them. That would scare you.
Yeah, we were gonna make a big adjustment.
Yeah. I was like, I thought we had it at 43,480 is what we have in his garage. Because, yeah, Briscoe's is larger and it has more bonus area above.
So the home on Briscoe is a little bit bigger.
The garage is bigger, yeah.
Their home is bigger too, right?
Probably. I didn't look at that yet. I was just starting to look at stuff when
I'd be willing to do that sales price plus the 40,000 for the detached garage.
the
which would-
765 plus the 43.
Yeah, it would put you about 800.
And that is, I didn't get to that part with the house. kind of what I was, saying.
I think that's probably reasonable, so. What was that sales price, 760?
Yeah, it's 765.
260.
It was 43.8, I think, right, or 43. Yeah, I think it was 43.8.
We'll go 43,800.
Oh, 480, sorry, 43.40.
808, 745.
Yep. Mr. Chair, on parcel RPRCBR 8000100, I make a motion that we adjust the value down to 808,745.
We have a motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So, we have adjusted, we went to 808, 70, or 809 basically. You have the opportunity to appeal if you don't agree with that, as well as the assessor's table. Other than that, I'd consider this hearing closed.
Great. Thank
Thank
you guys
you.
for your
Thank
time.
you.
Have a great day.
Thanks.
Thank you.
What was that number? 745. Thank you.
You too, thanks.
The other one
That's pretty
for
funny.
this is CCLLC.
What was that?
We have CCLLC.
Yes. Have it up, just a second. It is,
The land is what they're talking about.
oh, okay.
It went from 55,000 to 294,000.
Wow.
So I would ask too, if I was them.
Get this looked at here.
The house went up quite a bit, but the land really went up.
I was just looking at these comparable cells and they're all, in comparison to theirs, it would be a lot less, like the one that has 2,000 square feet less sold for 1.2 million. So if you adjust the land, you're actually going to bring them out of equity with sales, but if you're looking at it as a whole, the value is accurate to the sales, but yeah, to look at just the land, obviously it would be
Yeah,
a little bit high.
every one of the columns are less than 100,000. I mean,
Right, but
I know it's a,
to look at the sell price and the adjusted sell prices, if you bring him down really a lot compared to what their square feet and stuff, it would bring him out of equity, but yeah.
He is right about it being, I don't know if it's unbuildable, but it's not.
yeah, I'm just looking here. I mean, you got
And that will be
30,000,
adjusted next
and there's
year.
the value of the land. I mean,
But we have
what-
to look at it as a whole package to bring them in and out of equity.
I'd bring the land down and leave the house as this, and next year they come.
And his price
bring
per
it in
square foot is
equity.
way under what the others are. He's at $92.78, $92 basically, and the others are at $202, $198, and $143.
But to me, it still looks like we're out of whack. I mean, the value of the house should be up, maybe the value of the land should be down. Just looking at the comparables and stuff.
And that's fine, we
But-
can reallocate,
But,
but I think if you adjust the land way down, it's gonna bring him out of equity with his sales. But that's just my opinion. It will be adjusted next year.
Even if you take the apple orchard and double it, because it's 8.79 versus 18, you'd go to 170,000 versus 294.
I mean,
30 acres of 73. You know,
oh, we can't copy
I go back to Commissioner Tubby's argument that the value of the land is in that first acre.
Yeah.
Especially in this particular spot, it's not
Do you
necessarily
have it up on there?
unbuildable, but it's not.
What's the parcel number so I can look at the neighbor?
I was thinking 125 to
Okay.
150,000 for the land, and I don't know, just
I would entertain that motion.
2603.
so on parcel RPCPP 142605, we'll adjust the land value to 150,000. And leave the improvements the same. Have a motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Do you want to do some administrative
Should we do
stuff?
some admins?
I don't have anybody here.
Huh?
Oh, we can do- I don't have anything pulled up, so, for admins, because I,
Get into the packet, so.
are we not doing?
ASA
Oh,
debug.
they'll wait until 11 to do that?
Yeah.
Where?
Okay.
Oh,
I'd have to know what packet.
wow, the right day. yeah.
Edwin Mann is my first one.
Edwin Mann. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see what Edwin have. This will be an easy one.
And that's a lot. The lot size too. There's- Don't have any problems with the second property.
So the second property, which one ends in 603?
607 is one property, and then 603 is the other one, I guess. Yeah,
So
603 is his residence.
Yeah.
Read so many of these, I get confused which I'm looking at. Anything on these properties?
There's none of those goofy ones. Yeah, that's laid out.
Yeah.
Do we make any notes on that anywhere? Do we make any notes anywhere?
Yeah. Got some issues there.
I was reading what the complaint was.
The 2607, let's go with it first.
It looks like we have it on the schedule, the land schedule for the area, so it's not compared like a city property, like he's saying. He does have utilities to both, it looks like well and septic. It is.
Community well, right?
Right. And we do have it, we have the first acre for the home site, and then we have 19 acres broke out, and then we have the additional acres of 9.31, even cheaper, at the bone, like basically anything over like 20 acres gets an even lower rate
Yeah.
per acre, per square foot. So we broke it out properly,
So,
and then he has outbuildings on it.
so the picture in your comps, I mean, there-
That's the other house, that's the house on the other parcel.
this is 2607.
Yeah, and on the comparable,
And I just look at them houses across the top of there, and I mean, they're not good comps. That's all I'm saying.
2607 is the land with the outbuildings. 2603, or the 2603 is the house one, which is what he's comparing
Okay.
the house to.
But it says that there's,
But the one that you brought up first, the 607, is
but
land only.
all I'm saying is, those
Oh, he
comps.
has one in there for that?
Those
I don't see
comps
that.
do not match what's in that picture for 2607. So when I look at that,
Oh, I didn't even notice that that was a house. I thought that that was an outbuilding.
see what I'm saying?
Sorry, I didn't see that additional paper. I just went,
Okay.
I thought that this was just land.
That's what I'm saying. When I look at the evidence that I have before me,
Right.
that, they're not good comps. It's a,
I actually have Josh on his way over because he went through these admins, so he's gonna know a little more of what he's talking about.
Oh.
We can continue on with this
okay,
one. I'm
well,
just-
No, it's
no,
fine.
let's just be at recess for a minute.